You know, some of the greatest mysteries are hiding in plain sight. Today, we're opening a cosmic cold case on a galaxy that fooled astronomers for decades. Our subject? The absolutely stunning and incredibly deceptive Messier 94.
Yeah, you heard that right. For years, the official story of this galaxy was basically a case of mistaken identity. It was an optical illusion that had pretty much everyone convinced. But today, we're going to crack this case wide open.
All right, so let's get into it. To really get what's going on, we first need to look at the classic picture of Messier 94. You know, the story everyone thought was the whole truth.
So let's get our bearings. This galaxy is about 15 million light-years away, and it's officially classified as a spiral galaxy. But what it's really famous for are what look like two magnificent rings, a super bright inner one where stars are being born like crazy, and a much fainter, more mysterious outer one. And honestly, when you look at it in visible light, you can totally see why everyone thought that. I mean, the structure looks so clean, right? So perfectly defined. You've got this bustling, bright ring of new stars, and it's surrounded by this delicate outer ring. It's the kind of picture-perfect example you'd see in Chapter 1 of any astronomy textbook. But, as we're about to find out, pictures can be really, really deceiving.
To solve this thing, we've got to start right at the heart of the galaxy. What's the engine that's powering this incredible structure from the inside out?
Well, it turns out the core isn't just some simple ball of stars. Hiding right there in all that glare is this tiny, stretched-out structure, what astronomers call a mini-bar or an oval distortion. And this little feature, this is our prime suspect. It's the key player that's shaping the entire galaxy around it.
So, you're probably asking, how can a tiny bar have such a massive influence? Well, the answer is this amazing bit of cosmic physics called orbital resonance. Think of it like pushing someone on a swing. If you time your pushes just right, you can send them higher and higher. In a galaxy, the steady rotation of that central bar gives these little gravitational nudges to stars and gas way further out, kind of herding them into specific, stable paths.
And here's how that works. As that central oval spins, it creates these special stable zones. Now, all the gas and dust that's flowing through the galaxy, it gets caught in these zones. It's like a cosmic traffic jam. Everything just piles up. And what happens when you get a whole bunch of gas in one place? Boom. You get a massive burst of star formation. And that right there is where M94's incredible inner ring comes from.
Okay, so the inner ring makes perfect sense. But what about that faint outer structure? Well, this is where our whole detective story takes a massive plot twist. What if what we see with our own eyes is only half the story?
This is it. This is the question that just blew the whole case wide open. After decades of just assuming it was a ring, a few astronomers started looking closer and found clues that pointed to something completely different.
And here is the bombshell. This is from a 2009 study. They looked at the galaxy with basically new eyes, using light outside the normal visible spectrum, and their conclusion was totally direct. It's not a ring, it's a disk with spiral arms.
And this just shows you the deception perfectly. In normal optical light, our eyes see this clean, complete ring. But the moment you switch to ultraviolet or infrared light, which lets you see young stars and warm dust, the whole illusion just shatters. That ring breaks apart into these gorgeous, sweeping spiral arms that actually seem to flow all the way from the inner parts of the galaxy.
So, there you have it. The first mystery is solved. What we all thought was a separate outer ring is really an active, star-forming spiral disk. Its true nature was hidden from us just because of the limits of our own eyesight. Case closed. Or is it?
Because of course, just as we solve one case, a new one, an even weirder one, opens up. It turns out M94's outer disk is hiding another secret. For some reason, it's really hot and puffed up.
Now check out this data, because it tells a really fascinating story. It shows how fast the stars are moving up and down, perpendicular to the main disk of the galaxy. That dashed line? That's what we'd expect for a nice, calm, flat galaxy. But the actual data for M94, it's way higher. Something is seriously stirring up the stars out there. This extra motion, astronomers call it heating, and it means some unseen force is basically stirring the pot, shaking up the stars and making the disk puff up or flare out at its edges. Now this is not how a calm, quiet galaxy is supposed to behave. Something has disturbed it. Okay, so let's put the pieces together. We have two huge clues. First, the outer structure isn't a ring, it's spiral arms. And second, That entire outer disk is heated and puffed up. So, the big question is, can a single theory explain both of these things?
At this point, we're left with two main suspects. The first is something from the outside, a minor merger. The idea is that M94 gobbled up a smaller galaxy, and all the messy debris formed that puffed-up outer disk. The second suspect is an inside job. That same central oval distortion we met earlier actually created everything. The rings, the arms, the whole shebang, all on its own over billions of years.
And you know what? The evidence points overwhelmingly to the inside job, the internal dynamics theory. It's just a much cleaner explanation. You have one single engine, that inner oval, that neatly explains both the inner ring and the outer spirals. The ultraviolet images back this up, showing that continuous flow. And maybe the most convincing part? Computer models show that an oval just like the one in M94 can totally create the exact structure we see.
And get this is the crucial part. That outer spiral disk, which the galaxy built all by itself, isn't just some faint little wisp. It contains a whopping 23% of the galaxy's total stellar mass. That's a huge, major part of the galaxy, built entirely from the inside out.
And that really is the biggest takeaway from this whole story. Solving the M94 mystery shows us that galaxies aren't just these static, beautiful objects hanging in space. No, they are dynamic, living, breathing systems that can build incredibly complex structures all on their own without any need for big, dramatic collisions.
And this whole discovery is also a huge lesson for astronomers. Think about it. When we look deep into the universe, the most distant galaxies are just these faint little blobs of light. So, a galaxy that looks like a simple core with a fuzzy halo around it could actually be an amazingly complex system, just like M94, with its true identity completely blurred by all that distance.
Which really just leaves us with one last, big thought. If a galaxy right here in our own cosmic backyard could fool us for so long, what other mind-blowing secrets and incredible truths are still out there, just waiting for us to find them in the deep universe?